Well, Shimano have released their new 105 Di2, and a lot of people are really happy about that because the technology has been trickled down to that mid-tier common man's group set, as it's been called in the past. But the question today is not how good the Shimano 105 Di2 is, but should they still offer the mechanical alongside the Di2? So let's roll our intro and let's have a discussion about why Shimano should still offer both of those group sets going forward. Well, Shimano now have officially said that their Di2 is available. You can find it on their website. They have all of the beautiful videos that go with it. And you can also, officially it's available. Whether you can get one or not, that's a bit of a question mark. But it is pretty heavy. It's just under 3 kilos. It's aligned with the rival group set, and it's fairly expensive. Now, let's just put the weight of the group set to one side because that is a factor. And if you probably build up a mid-tier bike, you're probably going to be struggling to get it under 9 kilos. That's just the reality because you've got not only Di2, but you've got disc brake, and then you've got heavier frames, heavier seats, heavier wheels, probably only RS500 Shimano wheels, which are pretty damn heavy. They won't put the 105s on the bike. And if you wanted to go to the better wheels, it's going to cost you more money. So at that mid-tier price point, obviously people are quite sensitive on the price, so they might not want to spend that extra money. But let's just put all of that aside, the weight and the price, and let's just look at why Shimano should offer a mechanical group set to the masses. And there is a number of other reasons why that should be the case. Now, the person that buys a top-end bike with Durace or Ultegra on is generally a bit of a different type of rider than a person who would buy a 105 group set. The 105 group set may be a first-time rider, or maybe they're just a second-time rider. They've had a really cheap bike and they want to get something a bit better, and people have told them 105 is pretty good. But these sorts of people generally are not the hardcore riders like the people who ride Ultegra and Durace and the higher end of bikes. So what a bike with Di2 needs on it, or should I say, let's just forget about the disc brakes. Let's just say Di2 disc brake hydraulic and Di2 mechanical 105 disc brake. So all it hasn't got is the electronic shifting. And the reason why I say that should still be offered, because a lot of these people in this mid-tier price bracket maybe only ride once a week, or maybe they're a fair weather cyclist, or maybe they might just ride to work on the occasion, and they keep their bike in the garage, and when they're not riding it, maybe for a month, for a few weeks or whatever, they don't touch it. They don't service them. In fact, some people ride the bikes until one day it doesn't change gear. They take it to the bike shop, and then the bike shop tells them that all of their chain rings, chains, cassettes need changing. And those sorts of people are around. Now, maybe they're not that bad at this mid-tier price point, but when you add electronic, it complicates things. It means you need to have some sort of power source, or you need to have a power bank, and then you need to go out, plug it into the Di2 and charge that system up. So it's not like in the old days where you come out to the garage and you go, oh crap, the wheels are flat, I just need to pump the wheels up, get me pump it up, and then I'm away to ride, and I've all got my gear on, because you've left it in the garage for so long, or you've left it in the garage over winter. So you just want to pump the tires up, you jump on it, and you're right, and the bike works because there is nothing else to maintain on the bike. But when you have a Di2, you have a charging system, and that charging system could be flat. You could have left it, may have just gone flat. Batteries go flat after time. So therefore, you need to plug it in, and you go, how long is this going to take to charge? And you go, I can't ride my bike. So then you're pissed off. So what a Di2 system does, it increases the complication of the casual rider. And if the bike's left for some time, it means that the bike may not be ready to ride. And also, if you're not such an experienced rider and you crash or damage the bike or whatever, then the components, the Di2 components, especially the rear derailleur, is significantly dearer than a mechanical derailleur, and you take it to the bike shop and they're going to quote something pretty phenomenal, maybe about $700 or $800 Aussie, whilst a mechanical 105 derailleur used to be just like a couple $100 or a few $100. So the price difference is going to be significant if they damage the components on the bike, because they're maybe not such an experienced rider. And let's face it, we all have had crashes at one time or another. So that is something that I believe at the lower tier levels, they should put a group set on that is a little bit easier to fix. You can work on it yourself if people are inclined to do that, because they want to save a bit of money. That's why they've bought a mid-tier bike. And also, generally, if there's a bit of problems, the bike shop can work it out, put a new cabling, put some cassettes and new chain rings on, get the bike all working perfectly again. But when it's Di2, there's a little bit more fussing around. There could be a new software update. If there's a problem why it's not working, that needs to be, the fault needs to be found through the computer software. Then you might go, oh, it needs this problem. And it is actually quite common for the batteries to play up on these Di2 systems. I even had one of my guys at work, his bike just carked it 100 meters away from his home, riding to work in the morning, just wouldn't change gear, and that was the battery. And I've heard that that is quite common. So you take away all this complexity from the bike by offering mechanical. Mechanical, yeah, it does go out and may need adjustment from time to time, but at least it kind of 90% works pretty much all the time. So in conclusion, what Shimano could do is they could offer the Di2 hydraulic system, and they could offer the non-Di2 hydraulic system. So we've got the mechanical hydraulic and we've got the Di2 hydraulic, and they could offer that, even if they didn't want to offer rim brakes because they want to get rid of rim brakes, even though I'm a rim brake fan. But at least when you have hydraulic disc brakes and you have mechanical derailleurs, you can put your bike in the garage for 6 months, and really the only thing you probably need to do when you pull it out for the summer is pump the tyres up. You don't have to worry about charging or having a power point near the bike because it's just in the garage, or the shed, wherever you want to keep it, because your missus goes, the bike's not staying inside, the bike's not staying in the garage, you've got to put it in the shed. So you have to put it in the shed, it's away from a power point. And when you pull it out for the next summer, because you're a fair weather cyclist, then you're finding, the battery needs charging up and you've got to pump the tyres up as well. So you can't just pump the tyres up and go straight for a ride. But if it was the mechanical system, then all you need to do is pump the tyres up, and generally the brakes will work, the gears will change, everything will work. And I think at this mid-tier price point, people aren't as enthusiastic about their bikes and want to muck around. And generally those sorts of people don't even change their own tyres. They take the bike to the bike shop. Oh, can you fix the tyre? It's gone flat. So those sorts of people, they're not, they're not that into their bikes, and they just want something that they can just jump on and ride. It's like their Toyota Corolla. That's how they treat it, Jump in the car, turn the key, it starts. If it doesn't start, why is that? So they don't want a bike that is fussy to fuss around with. And I think that when we're going to all of this new technology, like tubeless, like just to say you run tubeless and you've got a Di2 bike, well, then you have to check the sealant every so often because it goes hard. Or if it's gone hard and you get a puncture, you go, I thought this tyre was supposed to fix itself, and it doesn't. It's flat. What do I do now? So, and the battery goes flat or it doesn't change together. Oh, crap, how long does this battery last? People don't look at green lights, even though there is a green light. So this is why I think they should use the KISS philosophy with these mid-tier to lower group sets. Just keep them simple, keep it something that someone can just jump on the bike and they don't have to think about, hey, charging, it needs to be near a power point, or it's got tubeless tyres. Just put clinchers on and all that sort of stuff and just put mechanical group sets on. It's much simpler for those riders that are not so enthusiastic about their bike. So guys, what do you reckon? Do you think Shimano should give people the choice? I mean, really, it's not that big a deal. To make a mechanical derailleur and a front derailleur, they're only I suppose they need to also make the STIs, but they could do what they did with Ultegra or Durace, just use the old ones from the 11 speed. And, actually that's all Di2 as well. You can't do that. But maybe they could do something with their older system and just modify it, the mechanism so it can move one more cog, and then they could make the STIs and even trickle that down to the Tiagra one as well. But I do think that they're overcomplicating it for the kind of casual rider. Guys, what do you think about that? Do you think Shimano are overcomplicating it, you know, or the manufacturers are overcomplicating bikes? They're just making it, yeah, if you're an enthusiastic person and you want to buy the Di2, you want to have the Di2 because you want that nice little press the button here that it just changes gear, you can opt for it, but give the people the option if they just want the simpler mechanical system, and probably it'll be a bit cheaper. So that's obviously a feather in the cap as well for the purchaser. And Shimano and these companies may actually sell a few more of them because of the cost, and you know, just give the people who are not that enthusiastic in cycling, just want a nice bike to ride,